deposit for 1 year. Approval of minutes, we have none. Approval of consent calendar, Mr. Wagner.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the reports here are all from, November 2023 be approved.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I know, I said
Oh, I'm sorry, the minutes, you have, I don't have them.
Police Department, these are November 2023, Police Department, Borough Clerk, Animal Licensing, Animal Control, Sanitarian, and these reports were submitted October, November 2023, Tax Collector and Treasurer. Resolution 2023-155 entitled Resolution Authorizing the Award of Non-Fair and Open Contracts for Professional Services for calendar year 2024. Resolution 2023-156 entitled Resolution entitled First Limo Car Service LLC Limousine Owner License Number L01-9383-2024. Resolution 2023-157 entitled Resolution entitled First Limo Car Service LLC Limousine Owner License Number L02-9383-2024. Resolution 2023-158 entitled KFC number 3495 Bishop McLaughlin Council Raffle License number 338-24. Resolution 2023-159 entitled Resolution authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for professional planning services. Resolution 2023-160 entitled Resolution authorizing the extension of the lease for all vacant land, including driveway and access ways, for lands known as Lot 20, Block 63 in the Borough of Morris Plains. Resolution 2023-161 entitled Cancel Unexpended 2023 Budget Appropriation Balances. Resolution 2023-162 entitled Redemption Resolution Block number 117, Lot number 1, Redeemed Third Party Tax Lien. Resolution 2023-163 entitled Police Department Salaries. Resolution 2023-164 entitled Resolution Appointing Community Development Revenue Sharing Committee Representative. Resolution 2023-165 entitled Cancellation of Balances and Overpayments Less than $10. Resolution 2023-166 entitled Borough of Morris Plains, Morris County Adaptive Recreational Program. Borough Council authorized the release and return of engineering review and inspection fees in the amount of $3,473.50 to 900 American Road LLC, Commercial Realty Group, 111 Littleton Road, Suite 100, Parsippany, New Jersey 07095, per the Borough Engineers Correspondence dated December 8, 2023. Morris Plains Police Department be authorized to submit an addendum to the request for proposals for architectural services and plans. Department of Public Works be authorized to advertise for the position of laborer with Class B CDL preferred. Following employees be granted permission to carry vacation time from 2023 to 2024, which shall be used by March 31st, 2024. Sarah Thornberry, Court Administrator, 7 hours. Rosemary Land, Deputy Clerk, 10.5 hours. Roseanne Denman, Borough Clerk, 21 hours. Nicole Saranita, Clerk's Office, 7 hours. Lieutenant Robert Gill, Police Department, 28 hours. Detective Sergeant Bruce Rapp, Police Department, 16 hours. Sergeant Michael Kelly, Police Department, 24 hours. Officer Anne Marie Ferris, Police Department, 40 hours. Officer Brett Serrato, Police Department, 40 hours. Officer David Kozakowski, Police Department, 8 hours. Officer Joseph Cole, Police Department, 8 hours. Officer Vincent Zerillo, Police Department, 32 hours. Kira Holland, Police Records, 30 hours. Segal Rice, Police Department, 10.5 hours. Anna Thomas, CFO, Tax Office, 35 hours. Justin Pataro Jr., Laborer, DPW, 32 hours. Borough Treasurer be authorized to advertise for the receipt of bids to replace the borough's 4-dial post clock, with bids to be received on Wednesday, January 17th, 2024, up to 10:30 a.m. in the council chambers. Cody Pabricki be promoted to the position of truck driver in the Department of Public Works and granted the appropriate hourly increase effective December 22nd, 2023. Seymour Foreman be promoted to the position of Assistant Senior Mechanic in the Department of Public Works and granted the appropriate hourly increase effective December 22nd, 2023. Having received quotes for 2 sets of turnout gear and equipment from the following: Moose Safety Supply, $8,310. Darley, $8,563.68. Skylands Area Fire Equipment and Training, $10,026.56. That a purchase order be issued to Moose Safety Supply, 426 Chapman Court, Hackettstown, New Jersey, 07840, in the amount of $8,310. Having received quotes for new signs on the Borough Annex building from the following: Morris Sign Company, $2,350. Fast Signs of East Hanover, no quote. Lumark Signs, no quote. That a purchase order be issued to Morris Sign Company, 30 Troy Road, Whippany, New Jersey, in the amount of $2,350.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Joan, roll call please.
Mr. Wagner,
Yes.
Mr. Broom,
Yes.
Mr. Cortez,
Yes.
Ms. Goddard,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Ms. Berger.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now I move on to my favorite part where I invite the public up here and give us all compliments. Is there anybody like that? See, nobody, that must be, there's a lot of them, so thank you very
Some
much.
people got eggs, for a duck.
Oh, Mary Ann, I'm
I
sorry.
have one. So I have a question. Mary Ann Steckert, 17 Jaquan Avenue. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I just have a question to make sure I understand correct. I'm wearing my downtown Morris Plains hat. For 2024, the liaison will change in 2024 and go under buildings and grounds? Is that what I heard, or did I misunderstand?
You did not have a liaison before. There was council members on that, part of the, Business Development Committee, so that was where you guys fell under.
Right.
Now that they've moved on and you guys are your own entity, there'll be a liaison, from public buildings and grounds that will assist you.
Okay, starting 2024.
January, yeah.
Okay, perfect. It's my only question. It's not really a compliment, but it is a compliment. Thank you for all your hard work this year. I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
And thanks for everything you've done with the downtown Morris Plains as well, and
You're welcome.
Rotary and all the other.
It's been fun.
Thank you
It's
very
been
much.
fun.
Appreciate that. Anybody else? Seeing nobody, I move to reports of committees. Finance, Sal.
Thank you, Mayor. Getting to the end of the year and, being in the chair of the Finance Committee, I don't know where I'll be next year, but in the House, we have Anna Thomas. Can you just wave your hand? And it's been an honor working with you, and Roseanne, you too, at the clerk's office, while I was in finance. If you ever go through Morris Plains and you see the back light on 10, 11 o'clock at night, it's Roseanne. If you see the front one on 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, it's Anna. I can't tell you how hard they work and how I learned so much of what they do and that I took for granted. I was a big pain in the neck because I always wanted information. I apologize, but that's me. And I just wanted to say thank you to both of you for it's been a wonderful year and your hard work, and from everybody, and I think on the council, I can speak for everybody, how appreciative we are to have you two on board and making us look good too. I look pretty good today, right? All right, let's go to the finance report. No, Borough Clerk is gonna start. Closed out the animal licensing in 2023, we licensed 612 dogs and 132 cats. It was 133, but my cat died in September, it was very sad. Prepared and mailed out animal licenses renewal for 2024, preparation for the free rabies clinic, which will be held. Please mark your calendars, January 6, 2024, from 1 to 3 p.m. at the DPW on 10 Borough Terrace. Pre-register online at the morrisplains.org website. Prepared and mailed out the $5 certain street parking applications. Preparing for the reorganization meeting, which is scheduled for Thursday, January 4th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Don't have dinner, we'll have it here. Also, we did a lot of Oprah requests and busy again. I don't know about the water Morris Plains, but again, a lot of marriage license applications. On the finance side, you guys will see the 4 resolutions, for finance, and the one that I like the best is that there was unused funds for the pool appropriations, and we'll have that money for next year. I pray to God that that pool stays strong and don't need it, but it's old and it's hurting. But it's good to know that we have a little bit of cushion and, left over that we don't have to burden anybody with. I reached out to the library mayor, I didn't get a response back, I don't know if she was away or what, so I don't have too much there, and, I didn't have that much time to go over there and look. But, I think that's all I have, sir.
That's good. It's the end of the year. Thank you. Art? I'm sorry.
Public safety.
Public safety.
Yeah.
I'm staring at you.
I'm paying attention.
I'm just staring at you. Sorry.
Sandstone.
I know, the hat's too tight.
For our court, we finished our year with a DWI trial and 2 in-person DWI pleas on Friday and a Spanish session Tuesday of this week. There's 3 or 4 more in-person DWI pleas in our next session, which will be January 9th, and a full calendar of other cases. The court is looking forward to a new year with the court and are preparing files and books to start the 2024 in good standing. As I mentioned earlier, in fire prevention, they had a total of 94 events between November 21st and December 21st. These included 20 LHUs, which I was hoping somebody would get up and explain to us what that was, but maybe next time. 35 non-life hazard use inspections, 20 re-inspections, 3 alarm test witnessing. There were OPRA requests, there were residential sale and smoke tests, there was a site plan review, 2 site inspections, key box update, solar install update, and more. So a bunch of individual things there that I'm not mentioning. It has honestly been an honor to serve as public safety chair liaison the past 2 years. I enjoyed participating in the traffic committee meetings and learned a lot from the individuals who are longtime members of that committee there. And I'm hoping that the incoming liaison will continue that pursuit of the complete and green streets and looking into that as a best practice, which is out in the rest of the universe as a best practice. And I think it's something that will ensure our roads are safer for all users, not just vehicle traffic. So that's something that I would like to see us pursue as a borough and look into further. I met often in this role with chiefs of police, fire, and fire prevention, less often with our excellent court personnel because they pretty much run themselves over there. And I learned about the responsibilities they bear and the important impact of their decisions in this community. I have great respect for each of them, for their dedication to the borough, their professionalism, and their credentials, and I have every confidence in their leadership. I learned that in this role, I could best serve the community by listening to them and supporting their recommendations based on their areas of expertise. So I've been an advocate for adding a dedicated traffic officer to our ranks, filling vacancies with excellent new recruits and promotions, adding a bike patrol, and now exploring renovations to the building to help our police department meet DOJ requirements. That is why I now support the Fire Association's request to elevate our fire prevention official to a full-time position based on the increasing demands for fire safety as our borough grows. I let them lead and ensure they have the tools to keep our borough safe because health and safety are our #1 priority. I look forward to serving the borough in a new capacity in 2024. And I'd like to pass it off to our fire department chief, Chief Ronco. Thought I saw you.
Good evening.
I want to start off by thanking Councilwoman Varga for all her hard work she's done for us for the last 2 years. We really appreciate what you've done. Report what's going on. The aerial is still out of service. The engine is getting closer to being back. We got our ground ladders tested Tuesday, what we have here, so they're good. Everything passed. And the end of the year, I did get denial notice for the AFG grant, so the air packs will not be coming this year, so hopefully we'll do it again next year. Or we're gonna have to do capital on that. It's something that we need. It's life safety equipment, very life safety equipment for our guys. We did the Santa tour. We'll do a little different this year. I think it worked out good for us, we weren't out all day, guys have things to do, we're volunteers, we give up our time for everything, so. With a little more input from people, maybe next year we can do the same, maybe expand it a little bit bigger. I know the stops we just pinpointed stops this year, so if we can maybe have some input from anybody, if you know somebody that just wants us to stop somewhere else. We're trying to get bigger, like group stops, because it's too hard to guarantee a time when we're gonna be exactly where, your house is. We just can't do it that way, and I think the stop is, a lot of towns do stops, so. But we're gonna continue doing it, so we're not gonna stop doing it. Let's see what else. This whole thing about this full-time position is killing me. I'm sorry. I know the fire prevention chief has sat down with all of you over the years and giving you binders and information. I don't know anymore. I think it's a person, I really do. I think there's it's the person that's doing it, that's running the department right now, that somebody has a vendetta against him. The guy is fully qualified. And you see these guys back here, we have 14-year-olds to 70, 80-year-olds back here. Sorry, older, so. I don't wanna have to be the one that has to go to the news reporter and say, well, we lost a firefighter tonight because we didn't know it was in that building. You want a little history? 1994, center of town burned down where Woodham is. And it was 3 stores on the bottom, 3 apartments on top. A lot of us didn't know what that building was constructed, how that building was constructed. 4 of us went upstairs in the 2nd floor to see if people were in the apartments above it. There was a Hurley liquor store, a mailbox, etc., and a jewelry store, Michael's Jewelers, down on the 1st floor. This thing was going really good, and it was the center of town, it was a Sunday afternoon. 4 of us went upstairs. 3 got out when the wall blew out. I was the one standing on the floor in the 2nd floor when that wall blew out. I could have been a fatality. We didn't know the layout of the apartments upstairs. We just went in, that's what we do. Later we find out when the building was demolished, it didn't have a full basement either. It had a half a basement. And the basement was in the rear of the building. We didn't know that. We didn't know where the fire was. We didn't know it was in the basement of the building. This is why it's important to have somebody here full time. I know we're a small town Morris Plains. But think about it. If your child is volunteer, is in my place, my position, would you want them not to know what they're going into? I don't know where to go with this. I think a lot of the questions have already been answered, and I'm tired of hearing, oh, we need more information. Well, I talked to the fire official from the county. The fire official from the county, Jim Davison, is not one of our members. He has said it would cost over $150,000 for them to hire somebody to do our inspections. And they don't do it. They will not do other town inspections. I mean, unless you can magically wave a wand and get them to do it, I don't think it's right. We're gonna lose intel. And you're gonna lose revenue. Why do you wanna lose revenue? That's all I hear. I'm a taxpayer in this town too. We're losing revenue. Wanna merge the courts? Revenue. We're gonna lose that too. Why? I just don't get it. Is this to save money on taxes or salary? Well, his salary's gonna be covered if you would just raise the rates, the fees. Over time, you're gonna have to raise the fees. A lot of the fees go to people leaving the town. I know you don't wanna burden the businesses, but you do the apartments, your smoke alarms, those are all people that leave this town. The state does it. The state says when you sell your house, you gotta pay a fee. That's why people rent for it, whatever. We know what's going on. Come on, this is, we're fully volunteer. We don't ask for much. This is one thing that's really, really important to all of us. I just hope that you all can understand this and, do the right thing. So, with that said, Merry Christmas all, Happy Day.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief, and just some feedback with the fire truck. We've had, at least I got feedback that people were, it really wasn't advertised too well, that they were disappointed. It's a family thing now, I guess, with the truck going around, and, they didn't like having to put everybody in a car and go to a place, so we'll have to discuss that moving forward.
It was
so.
kinda last minute,
I'm just,
and, we just threw it together, so that's why I said, let's start talking about it now. If anybody wants to help us out, that'd be great.
I'll be Santa.
Okay, I got you.
Plus you were trying to beat the rainstorm too.
Yeah, it was rain, yeah.
But, yeah, a lot of people missed the truck coming around and the horns and the sirens and all that kind of stuff, so keep that in mind moving forward. And, I think, Chief, this is the furthest this has gone along, with this fire prevention official. And first time probably that this council has discussed this, as a council. I've discussed it, like I said before, with you, fire prevention chief, Nancy, when was the last time it was discussed here?
It was discussed. It's
When?
been discussed. I don't know exactly when.
Yeah, well, so progress is being made. It's a big step for the whole borough.
Let's not stop it. Let's keep going.
Nobody's stopping anything, so we hear the fire department, we understand. We have to do our due diligence too, so, but it's moving forward. We know where the fire department's coming, so we'll get some answers that the council, few answers that the council needs, and hopefully move forward with it. Chief.
Good evening, just want to thank the mayor and council for their support of continuing work on our conceptual plans for renovations, much needed renovations for safety and security down in the police department, especially our conceptual plans committee, Ms. Berman, Mr. Cortez, Mr. Wagner, all the help from Roseanne and Mr. Haran and Ms. Thomas as well, helping us moving that project forward. So we're looking forward to getting that opportunity out there real quick to some architects who can provide us with some of their specialized services. We're working hard with Urban Edge at their expense, I might add, to add some additional security and traffic control at the Coles Plaza facility during this holiday season. So hopefully it's a little bit easier to get into and out of, but we're having at least one officer there a couple of days a week, and then this weekend we'll increase that prior to the busy pickup times at Uncle Giuseppe's. So and trying to tamp down some of that shoplifting that we deal with during the holiday season when the plaza is especially busy. As far as the department's concerned, we're hard at work on some year-end reports and beginning our 2024 transition with scheduling and some squad changes in our 2024 budget. We just want to wish everybody a happy and healthy and safe, especially New Year. I'm looking forward to beginning my 5th year as the chief of police for the Borough of Morris Plains, a position I greatly love, and continue to work with all of you as we move forward for public safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Moving forward, Public Works, Joan.
5 years already?
Starting 5 years.
Wow.
Oh, he's got 8 left, don't worry.
Yeah. So I wanted to just start off congratulating the 2 promotions that we had at the Department of Public Works. As you heard, as Councilman Wagner read off from the consent calendar, Cody Babricki and Seymour Foreman have both been promoted. That is great news for the department. I just wanted to share a few activities that they've been doing. And a big thank you again to the Department of Public Works for all that they did after this rainstorm that we had. You know, I live by Whatnot Park. I could not believe the water. I've been only one time did it even go higher than it was, but with all the trees down and the brush and everything, thank you, and Kevin, thank you and the team for all of your hard work on that. They finished setting up the Christmas lights. They started around the brush. They started sweeping the town, and one thing that they do a lot as well is they work on the police and DPW vehicles daily. So we appreciate all the help that they do there. And that is about it.
Good, thank you. Public Buildings and Grounds, Art.
Not a whole lot from our last meeting. Recreation will hold their 2024 reorganization meeting on Wednesday, January 17th at 7:30. We had our last shade tree committee meeting, and Jim Davidson was our chairperson, and he has officially retired from that position. We're being a new appointee. In this fire department, I've been running the Christmas tree sale as a liaison to VFW for the last 23 years or so. We're officially out of the trees, so everyone who supported us, thank you so much. Thanks.
Good job, guys.
You volunteered, so.
I did. About two.
Anyway, it was a good event. It's almost like the Santa Claus, everybody expects us to sell trees over there. So anybody who bought a tree, thank you. And that's just a side note, that's all I have.
Good. Public health, sanitation, and sewers, Kathy.
Yes, thank you. I have just a couple of things. Last 2 weeks ago, I told you about the Fire Association, and Gary Kaiser had started this, need for a used clothing bin at the recycling center. Well, it's there, and if you went to recycling last Saturday, you would have seen it, so please stop by this Saturday, just to take a look. It is, I hate to say this, but it's a very adorable little shed that kind of matches the rest of the buildings that are there. And it is a nice thing that they have done, and they are going to also help take care of it. People should only bring clothing to the recycling center on Saturdays for that purpose. Also, then holiday trash pickup is December 21st, and, excuse me, I'm sorry, December 26th, it's not the 21st.
It was.
Yeah, I know, it was today, I took mine down. Something very fun happened yesterday at Boro School. As most of you probably know, I'm a teacher there, substitute teacher there. And I was walking down the hall one day, and some kids were behind me. I was on my way to lunch duty, and some kids were behind me and said, "Mrs. Kelly, are you on the council in Morris Plains?" And I was shocked that they even asked me. I had no idea where that came from. And come to find out, because I stopped and said, "What's going on? What do you mean?" I said, "I am, but how'd you know that?" Well, our teacher is the social studies teacher, and it's Adaria Doherty. I'm sorry, Adaria Holleran. She used to be Adaria Doherty from town. She's a local girl. She's now a teacher at Boro School, and she teaches four fourth grade social studies classes, and this was their local government week. So I talked to those children, and that was it, and I went home, and overnight I was thinking, gee, it would be nice if I and maybe some other people would talk to the fourth graders, and I talked to Adaria about it, and she thought that was a great idea. So she contacted Mayor Carr, and he came and he spoke to these kids. I was there as well, but he did the majority of speaking. And he spoke, and there were 90 children there, and they must have asked you 90 questions. But he stayed and answered all of them. I had a smile on my face the whole time, watching these kids ask these questions about real stuff, stuff that we are all involved in. So, Mayor Carr, I thank you for doing that. It was a very good afternoon, and ladies and gentlemen on the dais, you may be asked again to go and do the same thing. We're trying to get some of those kids to come here for a meeting and to see how it really works. But again, thank you very much. That's all I have tonight.
Good, thank you. Ordinances and public utilities, Dennis.
Thank you, Mayor. I forgot before to mention to Councilwoman Berger, please, that I appreciate her due diligence. I sat on public safety, and her due diligence and research in the time spent in creating, this work that she did, and these sheets and these information sheets here. A lot of work goes into that. I appreciate that. And also I want to just give a shout out to the clerk's office. I've been informed that many of the parking permit, changed the additional streets, we've been getting some money back and some permits back from that, correct? And that was an additional 200 or so mailings, is that correct? So thank you for that, and we've gotten some positive responses back from residents. They appreciate the opportunity to purchase these low-cost stickers and park outside of their homes. So we're grateful for the clerk's office for handling that. Also, we had a planning board meeting December 11th. I just want to give you an update on the two applications, planning board PB 5-23 Tabor Road owner. That was the subdivision of the one property subdivided into three properties now. We approved the resolution, it was memorialized at that, meeting. And then also application number PB 4-23, that's the 1625 Route 10, also known as, we will call it the Wykert development. Our borough professionals and our planning board deemed that application complete. And the public hearing started right afterwards, so we heard some testimony from the applicant's professionals. At 10:30 or so, we ran out of time and had enough, so there's gonna be, I predict at least two more meetings, public hearing meetings on that application. So next meeting is January 15th at a reorg meeting. So I encourage residents to come out and check out what's going on that property. And that is it.
We have,
I guess, and John, this might be a question for you, but I just wanted to see if we are able as a council to commit to voting on the fire prevention role at our next council meeting. I know that there's some due diligence, continued information that is needed based on the discussion that we had today. But can we make a vote to vote on this at our next meeting?
Well,
Or a commitment to vote on it in the next meeting?
I would urge, well, I wouldn't urge you, but I would suggest you don't. What I would do, I understand the concerns. What I would do is I would set forth that you're going to, if you can, take action at the next one, and as you sit here this evening, that would be your goal and your desire. But I wouldn't put a roof, so to speak, over you for the next meeting, and I only say that because you don't know what's gonna come up, either in the affirmative or in the negative over the next couple of weeks, and it may raise another issue. I don't mean an issue for purposes of delaying, it could just raise another issue that needs to be looked into. You don't wanna handcuff yourself to having to make a decision, because if you put on the public record tonight that you're gonna make a decision at the January, I think it's 18th or 19th meeting, then you really are committed to doing that, and it then raises legal concerns if you don't take action that night. So I would, but again, I think that there's nothing wrong with this council indicating tonight that, I think you should, that, if you can take formal action at the next meeting, that's your desire, because you do want to, you don't want this to go in perpetuity, I get that too. But I wouldn't hold yourself to a drop dead date, that creates a problem.
well, the next meeting may not be December 28th either.
I said
You said
January
January.
18th.
Yeah, but the next meeting is December 28th.
Right.
So we might not have that meeting.
Well, I'm hoping that we could at least commit to within the next few meetings, right? My goal, I think, is and as we've heard, we've been talking about this for 5+ years, right? Nancy is the first to really bring this forward and do the due diligence, as Dennis mentioned, and extensive research in order to present the case. I feel we owe it to our community to have a decision within at least the next few council meetings. I know that there's information that people are gonna be getting, but I think we owe a decision on this.
Well, I think we owe a decision to do it properly and
Of
correctly
course,
and
of
thoroughly
course.
too.
No
So
question about that.
If that's what's gonna happen, you can't put a date or a time on that either, so.
Of course.
That's what's important as well.
No question about that.
We have no presentations of communications or petitions. We have no introductions of ordinances. We do have introductions on second reading. Dennis?
I read by title the ordinance entitled Ordinance Number 17-2023, an ordinance providing for the partial amendment, supplementation, and repeal of certain fees set forth in the fee schedule, the Borough of Morris Plains, Chapter 2, Section 2-46, in the revised ordinances of the Borough of Morris Plains, New Jersey, 1972. Which ordinance was introduced and passed on first reading at a meeting held on December 7th, 2023.
I announce the meeting is open for a public hearing on this ordinance. Seeing no one, I close the public portion.
I state that the above ordinance, as read by title on second reading at this meeting, be adopted and finally passed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Wagner.
Yes.
Mr. Broom.
Yes.
Mr. Cortez.
Yes.
Ms. Goddard.
Yes.
Ms. Kelly.
Yes.
Ms. Virgo.
Yes.
Thank you.
I declare the ordinance adopted and finally passed. This is just updating our fees that we do every year, housekeeping, some police fees in there, some health fees in there, pool fees, that sort of thing. Next, Dennis?
I read by title the ordinance entitled Ordinance Number 18-2023, an ordinance concerning salaries and longevity pay. Which ordinance was introduced and passed on first reading at a meeting held on December 7th, 2023.
I announce that the meeting is open for a public hearing. Anybody wish to address the governing body? Seeing no one, I close the public hearing.
I state that the above ordinance, as read by title on second reading at this meeting, be adopted and finally passed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kathy. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wagner.
Yes.
Mr. Broom.
Yes.
Mr. Cortez.
Yes.
Ms. Goddard.
Yes.
Ms. Kelly.
Yes.
Ms. Virgo.
Yes.
I declare the ordinance adopted and finally passed, and this just sets the ranges for all the salaries for all the non-union employees of the borough. We'll skip 15, we don't have salaries yet, we have no unfinished business, no new business, vouchers, Sal.
Actually, Mayor, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna hop in real quick here. We do have, I at least have something here for purposes of new business. Tonight, the council, indicated a desire to, put downtown Morris Plains under the purview and guidance of the Public Building and Grounds Committee. I think there's wisdom in that, for sure. But I also want to be very clear here that these committees are governed by the bylaws of the Council of the Borough of Morris Plains, which was revised most recently on November 7, 2012. Obviously, as it currently stands, under Section 4, Article 6 of these particular bylaws that govern public buildings and grounds, downtown Morris Plains is not provided as one of them. So accordingly, I think as I sit here this evening, it's appropriate that we, at least administratively, for now, make note that what would be under subsection C of Section 4, downtown Morris Plains is now something in which the Building and Grounds Committee serves as a liaison for between the council and downtown Morris Plains. I will, subsequent to this meeting, look into whether or not there's a procedure that has been adopted here in Morris Plains, if one exists, and we will follow that procedure. If not, and this is merely administrative in nature, we should, and again, I think the minutes should reflect this, make that appropriate change. Secondly, as I sit here this evening and I look at Section 4, again of Article 6, I notice that there's a subsection A, and there's also a subsection C. I don't see that subsection B has been reserved, so accordingly I think that that's a typo, but I think it's important to note because we are now making a change to subsection C. I'll figure out how to best address that in the future too, but again, I only put this on the record here tonight because I think from a local government law perspective, I think it is appropriate that we put downtown Morris Plains under that particular committee. But the only people who know that right now are the 30-some people that are in this room. And 5 years from now, if we don't have that documented, that goes by wayside, and I don't want that to happen. I think it needs to be in these bylaws going forward. And, we can always change it down the road, but I think that our action here should be appropriately reflected, and therefore I am gonna ask that that be reflected in the minutes.
But that's just for a liaison?
Well, that's what the council appeared to indicate tonight.
Right.
I don't know. See, what's interesting is the bylaws, as I review them here tonight, have two subsections for buildings and grounds. Okay, and this holds true for most of your committees. One in which you have authority over the administration, the practices, and the procedures of a particular subgroup. I don't know, and I'm not injecting my wisdom into council here tonight, but it didn't sound to me like the Buildings and Grounds Committee wanted to, insert what, or interject into what downtown Morris Plains does. I thought more it was administrative, that they just wanted to serve as liaison.
Right.
If my understanding is correct, then as I indicated earlier, it would be appropriate to put that in subsection C of Section 4. Again, recognizing there should be a B somewhere that doesn't exist. But if I think it should be in C. And clearly, you don't want to usurp powers of, it should be in C.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, no new business vouchers, Mr. Cortez,
Thank you, Mayor.
hopefully they're right this time.
I have a checklist dated December 21st of 2023 for a grand total of $927,942.21.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kathy, roll call please.
Mr. Wagner,
Yes.
Mr. Broom,
Yes.
Mr. Cortez,
Yes.
Ms. Goddard,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Ms. Varga.
Yes.
Thank you.
We do need another executive session.
Be it resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Morris Plains on the 21st day of December 2023, the Mayor and Borough Council shall meet in executive session from which the public shall be excluded to discuss matters as permitted pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12 subsections B8 personnel matters. Time when the matter discussed pursuant to paragraph 1 hereof can be disclosed to the public is as soon as practicable after the final resolution of the aforesaid matter.
Is there a second? Second by Nancy, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, the ayes have it. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will be coming back into, conference meeting, a regular meeting, but I don't know exactly when, so you're more than welcome to wait in the kitchen or the hallway, and, we'll call you when we're finished with the executive.
And just so the public knows too, to comport with state statute here, the reason for why this mayor and council is going into executive session right now is to discuss salaries and whatnot. When we come back out of executive session later tonight, I don't know, that could be in 10 minutes, could be in 3 hours, we may take formal action, but we may not, but that's the purpose for this evening's executive session. Thank you, and again, happy holidays to all.